Hello and welcome to On Second Street. With Remembrance Day right around the corner, we wanted to take a moment to shine a light on one of Canada's greatest World War II heroes. He was a man who was incredibly influential, but a lot of people still don't really know who he is. And so we thought we'd have a discussion about him so that you could learn more about his accomplishments, including the fact that James Bond was largely based on this Canadian World War II hero. Here to talk with me about it is Colonel Gary Solar, who is a past president with the Intrepid Society. Colonel Solar, thank you for taking a few minutes to chat with me today about Sir William Stephenson. Let's start off with his early years. He was born in Winnipeg, wasn't he?
That's right.
And
And actually, there's two dates that we have for his birth, but we go with the 1896.
1896. All right. And so let's talk first about sort of his life before World War II. Could you tell us a little bit about some of the activities that he was involved in that sort of led to the man that became such an influential figure during World War II?
Well, of course, he was a fighter pilot during World War I. And when that ended, he went back to Winnipeg and he and a friend started a hardware business. And it didn't go well, but oddly enough, that was the only failure in his entire life. So it's a good thing he got that out of the way right off the bat. But after that, he
Yeah.
got involved in a number of commercial activities outside of Winnipeg. He and a friend named Thompson formed a Pacific real estate company in Vancouver. And Thompson had the rights to build the bridge from Vancouver to British properties. Similar to what they do in today's world, where the contractor builds it and then rents it back to the municipality. So once that was built, what happened is Sir William organized the financing for that with some of the people he met during World War I when it was a very popular fighter pilot. So they built the bridge and developed British properties with this real estate company, which is still in operation today. And you can imagine the millions of dollars that it costs to develop in that part of our history. Now it's still in operation, which is more than likely in the billions of dollars. So that was just one in Canada.
Mhm.
He went back to England and started a number of organizations there, commercial ones. The Steel Stamping Company, which produced 90% of the bodies for British cars. Um, and there's so many, it's hard to remember them all, but there was a television company that he started, and it's still in operation. He built an arena that has been renovated twice, and it's still in operation in London. A cement company, which I'm not sure if it's still in operation, but he had so many different facets to his life in the commercial world. But to get
Mhm.
metal for his metal stamping company and his plastics company and the general radio company and an electronics company, he wanted to buy the raw materials from Europe, especially in the Scandinavian countries. But when he went there, he found out that the Germans were buying all the supplies in that field. So he had some concern about why they were buying all this steel. And of course, when he went to Germany, he met with some of the former World War I German pilots. And of course, that's a society all by themselves, pilots. And so he got to learn about what they were doing, uh, what Hitler was doing in rebuilding his military.
And we often hear that Winston Churchill was the early sort of canary in the coal mine leading up to World War II, the one that was speaking out, raising concerns about um, Germany remilitarizing. But it was Stevenson who was whispering in his ear, wasn't it?
That's right, because I don't know what size the intelligence organizations there were in that time in history, but MI5 and MI6 were there. MI6 really got into operation after when World War II started, but Sir William's company in Sweden was actually close to what was happening with the heavy water
Mhm.
supply requirement by the Nazis to build an atomic bomb. So if it wasn't for him to slow that down, along with, of course, other help from some of the scientists there, which one of them he took out of the Scandinavian countries with a mosquito bomber, and he the scientist really wasn't that keen on going over or being involved in the war, but they picked him up out of the country there and flew him to the UK. Almost lost him because he was in a bomb bay with no heat. But all these sort of
Wow.
little
We
stories that go
we
on.
we have to take a commercial break, sir, but we'll be back in a moment learning more about Sir William Stephenson.
Right.